We are now on board with the driver, as we are going 80 miles an hour towards the first series of corners, as you can see here. He makes it with no problem, now just barreling through the short straight, reaching 70 miles per hour in the progress, and oh, he almost lost it, but he managed to save it. And this is just proof that these cars are not easy to drive. He almost lost it again. Can he keep the car under control before the checker flag? And the answer is no. He spun out. He spun out. Can he keep first? And oh, he barely closed the gap and prevented second place from passing him. Can he keep this lead until the checker flag? Oh, second place tried overtaking on the outside, but he went wide. I think he is gonna win the race, as no one else is able to catch up with him. The locals are very shook right now, because he just won the race. Welcome one and all to the first ever CC2 Grand Prix. The sun is brightly shining on this small tropical island, and it is a world hunt to test out how safe you are driving any and every single cars. But right now the facility is now currently closed, tired of working every day, so that's why we hosted a race here. Let's hope this is gonna be a great race and hope Panwells will come back, every year. We are currently on board with one of the fastest driver of the day. There were no serious accidents luckily, as there are only 3 cars in a multiple car accident on this corner and no deaths. This corner was where a famous illegal street racer spun out and almost gave the win to a rookie, and as you can see even the top drivers struggle here, skillfully take advantage of this to straighten their car earlier on the corner and gather more speed for the next series of chicanes here. Almost spun out on the last corner, now just a short straight past the roundabout to the checker flag. And he will be the first driver ever to win the CC2 Grand Prix.
The world sighs from relief as the Great War is over. It will go back to normal, but it will never be the same again. And let's now have a moment of silence. We are now on board with Fangio, our newest and youngest and bestest driver of the day, as he is more than a minute ahead of second place. We heard rumors about him that he will be the dominant driver of the entire 1950s, as he will only take first or second place. Almost 100 miles per hour on the short straight, just absolutely nuts. Went a bit wide there, but that's okay. Almost 40 miles per hour on the slow hairpin. And the car just picked up so much speed so quickly. Just a few more corners before the checker flag. And wow, look at that, 70 and 80 miles per hour already and still climbing. And he wins the CC2 Grand Prix, once again.
Welcome one and all to the 24 hours of CC2. We are on board with Bandini, in his Ferrari, the most dominant manufacturer in 24 hours of CC2 as well as Le Mans. It is now 5 PM and we now only have 5 minutes left on the clock, and he has completed almost 1,200 laps, with the best lap of just 1 minute and 1 second.
This race was not only an endurance to man, but also the machine.
We are now coming up to the longest straight of the track, capable of making cars reach speeds of 160 miles per hour.
If you get this section of the track wrong, you are going to crash into a tree and wouldn't be great if you want to live.
You heard the man. Keep the car on the left here for Lakeshore Corner, then smash into the inside. 165 down the straight, then brake very hard for the seesaw, and then idiotic square corners. It's best to avoid the curb as much as you can, or else it can throw your car off balance. And then over 100 miles per hour towards the fast right corner of Trainwreck. Then brake very hard down towards the drive-through corner, the last corner of the track. Small straight towards the left-right chicanes of roundabout, then we finish a lap of the new CC2 track.
Welcome back to Formula 1 in CC2. It looks like today is a bright day for Lotus, as it looks like they are in second of qualifying, behind Niki Lauda. Their Lotus looks like they can definitely win qualifying, but can they do it? Their Lotus are extremely fast, as we saw previously in Monaco and Imola. 80 miles per hour on U-turn corner, touched the curb a little bit. This tunnel kind of reminds me of Monaco tunnel, over 120 miles per hour down the back straight. We can see some Lotus fans cheering on the right there. 170 miles per hour down Lakeshore, and could not get into the inside there. Brake almost perfectly though, and barely touching the curb of Seesaw and idiotic corner. Over 100 miles per hour down train wreck. Whoa, went too much into the inside and caught a little bit of air there. But luckily his car wasn't damaged. Looking at the time here, and it looks like he will be just 100 of a second slower than Niki Lauda, so he will have to go for another run.
Ayrton Senna is doing a practice lap in his Ferrari F40 before the race. Let's see how fast he is in his first time in this track. Well, you can tell he is extremely fast already. Almost 130 miles per hour down the S's hairpins. That was a pretty good line, although a bit too wide. I think he got confused on where to go there, haha. $150 miles per hour and climbing already. Now coming up to Lakeshore going 180 miles per hour. 196 miles per hour top speed, now braking for Seesaw. A bit too much on the curb. 100 miles per hour now towards train wreck. Caught a bit of air there. And that will conclude Ayrton Senna's practice lap, and he did very well for his first run. Welcome back to the 24 hours of CC2. And, I know, Senna's death was very, very tragic. My full thoughts and prayers goes to his family and fans. We are currently in the first 8 hours of the race, and we only have 2 more hours of sunlight left. Look at that backfire, wow, it is such a good car, and don't take my word for it, as currently both McLarens are leading the race. Let's see if they can keep this lead for the rest of the race. Here the Seesaw corner is replaced with a chicane, as an effort to slow cars down. Another lap completed by McLaren.
Formula 1 has returned to CC2, an infamous street track in the 1970s. Fans have eagerly been waiting for it to come back, and now it has. Fernando Alonso will show what he has on this track. Perfect line for turn 1, down to turn 2, can't quite touch the apex and went wide. Yeah, turn 3 is kinda bad, he had to cut the inside to make the corner. Then almost flat out through turn 4, then he floors it downhill into the high-speed section. Stay as much on the outside as possible, then smash into the inside of that high-speed corner still flat out. And then you have to smash the brakes as soon as you make the corner, in order to make this chicane that they have added to slow cars down since the death of Senna. Oh, a bit bumpy into the 90-degree flat-out corner there. Still flat out for this corner, then brake for this very bumpy chicanes that also gets really tight, perfect for overtaking. And did you see that? He got a little wide there, dipped the wheels onto the grass for this hairpin, and flat out for this short straight. Yeah, this qualifying run haven't gone well for Alonso at all. Also, we tried hiring people to pave this road, but they didn't come for some reason, so yeah, I guess we are gonna have to deal with this. Quite wide on the apex of the hairpin. And from here it's basically all flat out across the finish line, and he will have to get another run in order to get on that podium. Alonso is currently 4th, yeah, he definitely needs to try harder.
It is a bright sunny day at CC2, and it is as well for Hamilton. He is currently first ahead of Vettel and Alonso. All his fans from around the world are cheering and cheering on, as this will be the last lap of the 2012 CC2 Grand Prix. Now going up the S's hairpins, perfect line through here. 90 miles per hour through Acantilado Quadrado. 100 miles per hour now towards fastback. Well, now gathering 150 miles per hour towards the really tricky chicane of Infierno de Coco. That was decent, I would say. Gathering a lot of speed downhill there, already 160 miles per hour and climbing. 180 now towards Lakeshore. Brake very hard now for Seesaw. Look at that precision, down to 100 miles per hour now for Idiotic Square. And we are now coming up to the tight but fast right corner of Trainwreck, and if you get it wrong, you are gonna crash and retire, and we don't want that if you are in the last lap. 130 miles per hour now down to T-Bone, and brake very hard now for drive-through chicane. And now we are gonna brake again for Horquilla. 70 miles per hour now for the short straight towards Cuadrada. And you can see fans on top of the bridge there cheering on before the checkered flag. Touched the inside curb a little, and oh my god, he went to wide on Cuadrada, bottomed out his car and caught a bit of air, but Vettel won't be able to catch up with him at roundabout, because he is not only too far away but it is the last corner, and checker flag for Hamilton. It was way too close of a close call for him.
Okay, so here is a lap for George Russell. We're going into turn 1 with flat right here. Into turn 4 and again flat right here. Bit of curve inside and outside, flat right here. Flat up on Saturday. And again flat right here. Take the little Ferrari flag on my left hand side to see the wind direction. Flat right here and a great right hand corner here. We'll go on flat right here and flat out across the line for George Russell.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on at Aston Martin, but what we do know is Vettel struggling to drive the AMR22. I don't really think it's because of his skill issue but rather car issue. That was the slowest exit speed out of the last corner I had ever seen. No wonder why Twitter grants Aston Martin to have one of the slowest cars in the grid. He goes really wide on the first corner, barely gathering 55 miles per hour up the hill. And I don't think he's gonna make it up that hill if I'm being honest. See what I told you? Now he's stuck and can't even make it up the hill, and now retired from the race.